Okay, this is an example of choosing the saturation scale for your third study in color inventory. So instead of separating this according to value, I've separated the scale according to saturation. And I'm going to show you some tricks on Photoshop for identifying the saturation of your color. So we know the dropper is a great way to locate a color in your image. And when you hit that color, you'll see it down here. And these two colors represent your foreground color and your background color. So you can use this arrow to flip those anytime you want. So that's my foreground color. And then over here to the right, you're going to see a saturation chart. So the right of this chart is more saturated. And then as you shift over, you move to achromatic or no color. So desaturated. Not unsaturated, but desaturated. So as I drop my colors, you'll notice over here, watch this area, and the color should slowly move from right to left. And if it doesn't, you have something out of place. So let's go ahead and do the next. It moves slightly to the left. Ooh, that one moved back. Oh, I have a slight, I'm going to have to flip these two. This orange is slightly more saturated than this pink. Yep, just slight, very, very slight, but I will switch those. And that's a good example of using this chart to see the saturation difference. And the yellow, although appears really saturated, has a lot of white in it, so it's less saturated than these. Oh, these two need to be switched. So this dark color, although it's very dark, is extremely close to the right side. So I'm going to switch my yellow. Oops. Well, I'm going to switch these next time. I have it linked to a group, but this is going to switch with the yellow, and that's going to be a better shift. So then we'll go from yellow to orange, and there's a switch again, so let's switch those. I'm going to put this in front of this. I'm just going to go through the scale though and show you. So we're moving. There was a backwards shift right there. Okay, let's go from the pink, lighter pink, pretty close. Slight shift towards more saturation there. The dark colors are probably going to give you the most trouble. Some dark colors can be really saturated. Okay, so it's close. I have a couple things I'm going to flip here, but it's through this chart that it's made a little bit easier. Now the most saturated will be the upper right. So if you have to make a decision between one that's here and one that's here, they're both on the saturated end, but this one's moving towards shade. So this one would be less saturated down here than the upper right, okay? But that's going to help you determine your saturation. And then I would suggest that you do this with your eye without the aid of this initially, to try to train your eye to see saturation. So basically, the more you can identify a color, the more that it is saturated. So as you move down here, these become really difficult to say what color they are. You know they're very desaturated, okay? And then in the middle is probably going to give you the biggest problem in terms of determining saturation rate. But that should help you, I think, and it's also going to train your eye to start to determine saturation rates. Okay.